Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a while because I've recently been sick, and then my whole family got sick, and then my dad's mom and dad, and I think his nephew, because it's his sister's son, so I think his nephew, are all coming so we could build a patio, make our patio builder bigger. And then Father's Day is coming up. So a lot of that has been happening. So I've been busy, but the main reason I haven't been back for a while is because I've been sick. But without further ado, 5 feet apart, like I promised, chapter 3. Chapter 3. All right, here we go. We stopped at chapter 2, which was Will, and now we're on chapter 3. So let me get that started. On chapter 2. Right, chapter 3, Stella. I pull on the blue afflo vest, snapping it into place around my torso with Barb's help. It looks an awful lot like a life vest, except for the remote coming out of it. For the quickest moment, I let it be a life vest, and I stare out the window, picturing myself in Cabo on a boat with Maya and Camellia. The afternoon sun glowing on the horizon, the seagulls chirping, the sandy beach in the distance, the shirtless surfers, and then despite myself, I think of Will. I blink, Cabo fading away as the barren trees outside my window swing into view. She's thinking about Will. Wonder what that means. So, well, he's a CFer then? I ask, though that's obvious. Barb helps me clip the last strap into place. I pull at the shoulder of the vest so it doesn't rub into my bony collarbone. A CFer and then some, be capicha. He's part of the new drug trial for Kafamulin. She reaches over, flickering the machine on and giving me a look. There's also some words I'm going to make up because I have no idea how to say them, so I spell them out and say them as best I can. My eyes widen and I look over at my giant tub of hand sanitizer. I was that close to him, and he has capicha. I think it's capicha. Capicha. It's pretty much a death sentence for people with CF. He'll be lucky to make it a few more years, and that's if he's as dedicated to his regimen as I am. The vest begins vibrating hard. I can feel the mucus in my lungs starting to slowly loosen. You contract that, and you contract that, and you can kiss the possibility of new lungs goodbye, she adds, eyeing me. Stay away. I nod. Oh, I fully intend to do just that. I need that extra time. Besides, he was way too full of himself to be my type. The trial, I start to say, looking over at Barb and holding up my hand to pause the conversation as I come up a wad of mucus. She nods in approval and hands me a standard issue pale pink padded pan. I spit into it and wipe my mouth before talking. What are the odds? Barb excels, shaking her head before meeting my gaze. Nobody knows the drug's too new. Her look says it all, though. We fell silent except for the chugging of the machine, the vest vibrating away. You're set. Need anything before I hit the road? I grin at her, giving her a pleading look. A milkshake. She rolls her eyes, putting her hands on her hips. What am I? Room service now. Gotta take advantage of the perks, Barb, I say, which makes her laugh. There we go. She leaves and I sit back, the afflo vest making my whole body shake as it works. My mind wanders and I picture Will's reflection in the glass of the ICU, standing just behind me with a daring smile on his face. Be capicha, that's rough, but walking around the hospital without a mask on, it's no wonder he got it in the first place, pulling stunts like that. I've seen his type in the hospital more times than I can count. The careless, braveheart type, rebelling in a desperate attempt to defy their diagnosis before it all comes to an end. It's not even original. All right, Barb says, bringing me not one, but two milkshakes like the queen she is. This should hold you over for a bit. She puts them on the table next to me, and I smile up at her familiar dark brown eyes. Thanks, Barb. She nods, touching my head gently before heading out the door. Night, baby. See you tomorrow. I sit staring out the window and coughing up more and more mucus as the vest does its job to clear my airs away. My eyes travel to the drawing of the lungs and the picture hanging next to it. My chest starts to hurt in a way that has nothing to do with the treatment as I think of my real bed. My parents, Abby. I pick up my phone to see a text from my dad. It's a picture of his old acoustic guitar leaning against a worn nightstand in his new apartment. He spent the whole day setting it up after I insisted he do that instead of taking me to the hospital. He predicted not to be relieved. He pretended not to be relieved, just like I pretended. Mom was taking me so he wouldn't feel guilty. It's been a lot of pretending since the most ridiculous divorce of all time. It's been 6 months and they still can't even look at each other. For some reason, it makes me want to hear his voice so badly. I tap on his contact info and almost press the green call button on my phone, but decide not to at the last second. I never call the first day, and all the coughing that the Aflo vest makes me do would make him nervous. He's still texting me every hour to check in. I don't want to worry my parents. I can't. Better to just wait until morning. My eyes shot open the next morning, and I look for what woke me, seeing my phone vibrating noisily on the phone, having free fallen off the table. I squint at the drained milkshake glasses and moaned of empty chocolate pounding cups taking up practically the entire space. No wonder the phone fell off. If we're 60% water, I'm closing it on the remaining 40% being pudding. I groan, reaching over the bed to grab my phone, my G-tube burning with the stretch. I gently touch my side, lifting my shirt to unhook the tube, surprised that the skin around it is even rounder and more inflamed than it was before. That's not good. Irritations usually go away with a little bit of foundation, but my application yesterday didn't seem to make a difference. I put a bigger globe of the ointment on it, hoping that will clear it up, and add a note to my to-do list to monitor it before scrolling through my notifications. I have a couple of snaps waiting from Maya and Camellia, looking sleepy but happy as they boarded the plane this morning. Both of my parents texted me, checking in to see how I slept, if I'm settled in, and staying to give them a call when I get up. I'm about to answer the both of them when my phone vibrates and I swipe right next to see a text from Poe. You up? I shot back a quick message saying if he wants to have our usual breakfast date in 20 before putting the phone down and squeezing my legs over my bed to grab my laptop. Less than a second later, my phone buzzes with his reply, yes. I grin, hitting the nurse call button, but my bed. Julie's friendly voice crackles through the speaker. Morning, Stella. You good? Yep, can I get breakfast now? I asked, turning my laptop on. You got it. The time on my laptop reads 9 o'clock a.m. and I pull the med cart closer, looking at the color-coded clumps I laid out yesterday. I smile to myself, realizing that this time tomorrow, after I get the beta version of my app fully up and running, I'll be getting a notification on my phone telling me to take my morning pills and the exact dosage of each that I need. Almost a year of hard work finally coming together, an app from all chronic illnesses, complete with med charts, schedules, and dosage of information. I take my pills and open Skype, screaming the contact list to see if either of my parents is on. There's a tiny green dot next to my dad's name, and I press the call button, waiting as it rings noisily. His face appears on the screen as he puts his thick rimmed glasses over his tired eyes. I notice that he's still in his pajamas, his graying jar jumping out in every direction, a lumpy pillow propped up behind him. Dad was always an early riser, out of bed before 7:30 every morning, even on the weekends. The worry starts to slowly wrap itself tighter around my insides. You need a shave, I say, taking it in the usual stubble conversation, covering his chin. He's always been clean shaven, except for a beard phase he went through on winter during elementary school. He chuckles, rubbing his scruffy chin. You need new lungs. Mic drop. I rolled my eyes as he laughs at his own joke. How was the gig? He shrugs. And you know, I'm glad you're performing again, I say cheerily, trying my best to look positive for him. Sore throat, doing okay, he guesses, giving me a worried look. I nod, swallowing to confirm that the rawness in my throat has started to subside, already a million times better. Relief fills his eyes, and I change the subject quickly before he can ask any more treatment-related question. How's your new apartment? He gives me an over-the-top smile. It's great. It's got a bed and a bathroom. His smile fades slightly and he shrugs. And not much else. I'm sure your mom's place is nicer. She could always make anywhere feel like home. Maybe if you just call her. He shakes his head at me and cuts me off. Moving on, seriously, it's fine, hun. The place is great and I've got you and my guitar. What else do I need? My stomach clenches, but there's a knock on my door and Julie comes in holding a dark green tray with a pile of food. My dad sees her and brightens up. Julie, how have you been? Julie puts down the tray and presents her belly to him. For someone who insisted for the past 5 years that she was never having children, she seems ridiculously eager to be having children. Very busy, I see, my dad says, smiling wide. Talk to you later, Dad, I say, moving my cursor over to the end call button. Love you. He gives me a slot before the chat ends. The smile of eggs and bacon wafts off the plate. A giant chocolate milkshake sitting on the tray next to it. Need anything else, Stella? Some company? I glance at her baby bump, shaking my head as a surprise. A zing swell of complaints fills my chest. I love Julie, but I'm really not in the mood for talking about her new little family when mine's falling apart. Poe's about to call me. Right on time, my laptop pings and Poe's picture pops up, the green phone symbol appearing on my screen. Julie rubs her stomach, giving her a strange look before flashing me a tight-lipped, confused smile. Okay, you two have fun. I press accept and Poe's face slowly comes into view, his thick brown eyebrows hanging over familiar warm brown eyes. He's gotten a haircut since the last time I saw him. Shorter, cleaner. He gives me a big ear-to-ear smile and I attempt to grin back, but it ends up looking more like a grimace. I can't get the image of my dad out of my head, so sad and alone in bed, but the lines of his face still deep and filled with exhaustion, and I can't even go check on him. Hey, Mommy, you are looking worn, he says, putting his milkshake down and squinting at me. You go on one of your chocolate pudding browners again? I know this is where I'm supposed to laugh, but I seem to have used up my pretending quota for the day, and it's not even 9:30 yet. I'll read the rest to you guys later. We stopped at 44.